Hi there, hello, how are you? I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day so far. My name is Chrissy. This is The Elevated Home. Here we take on home organizing and cleaning while being budget friendly, hella efficient, and oftentimes elevated. Today, I'm going to tell you why your guests think that your house is a cluttered mess, even if you declutter and organize on the regular, like me. These are the 4 spaces that your guests see that are also in the main part of your house, so you're using them all the time. So of course you're gonna get clutter. Don't freak out, take a hit, take a breath if you'd like to. We are going to fix them and it's gonna be super duper easy. Super duper easy. It's gonna be very easy. Let's get started. Okay, so I don't actually declutter my house or clean up my house all that much for the average person to come over. Like my brother, my brother-in-law, my best friends, even a few of my neighbors who have seen my house obviously at any random time, I'm not really picking up for them. When I close my eyes, I'm picturing that mom at the school that thinks that my life is beautifully organized space and would walk into a disaster. So the first place we're going is the entryway, of course. This is a common dumping ground for all of the obvious things like your coats and your shoes and your bags, but also for other things that you bring into the home but simply don't feel like putting away yet, like mail and packages and shopping bags. Things just naturally get dropped off here every day, throughout the day, and the space just easily becomes a cluttered mess. So the first thing you're going to do is identify what the problems are and create solutions so that you don't have to clean your entryway every time someone comes over, or you don't have to feel embarrassed when you need to sign for a package and open your front door and you have a disaster behind you. So in my case, I had already done a video making over this space, which is my entryway closet, to leave some hangers so that guests have some space to put their coats and purses and space on the shoe rack for them to put their shoes. So now even when guests come over, there is a space for all of their belongings rather than like going into a bedroom and throwing it across the bed. I've always felt like super weird about that whenever I've wanted to leave and my coat was like in the master bedroom and the door was shut for like security reasons, right? Yeah, I always felt like really creepy going in there, and I always felt really weird about like picking my coat up off of the bed. Touching it, I don't know what it was about touching it. Okay, sorry, I digress. So if you don't have a closet, what are you to do? You could probably go old school and get a an actual coat rack. A thrifted one would actually be kind of cool. Or they make like more modern ones. They have hooks that you can hang onto your wall, obviously that anchor into studs. I love to put those suction cupped hooks. I'll link one that I really like down below. The one that I have is oil rubbed bronze. I actually used it for my wreath for my entryway. But if you anticipate when people come over, this is a problem that you typically have, then you can create a solution. Spot number 2 is the bathroom, and this is a spot that obviously your guests are going to visit while they're at your house, whether it be for the intended reason or if they are like me and you need like a social detox moment and you just need an excuse to step away for a moment. And if there's no dog to pet or no cat to try to chase around, then you go to the bathroom. This space tends to get very cluttered because it is being used by things that you use every day, especially if you have only one bathroom in your home. We gotta be reasonable here. We're not going to put everything away just because someone is coming over, but we could make it look a little bit more put together, right? So I was looking up ribbed cups the other day, like ribbed glass cups. I am kind of slightly obsessing over that style that's like more tapered on. It looks like a candlestick holder maybe. I kind of want to replace all of my cups with those. So I was looking and seeing if I could find something at Target kind of cheap or on Amazon kind of cheap. And I came across on Target this ribbed crystal vanity tray. So I wanted to incorporate this in the bathroom. The first thing you got to do is declutter what it is that you're not using daily, or at least buy daily. I've had this lash serum on the counter. I've intended to use it and convinced myself that if I left it out, I would use it because I would see it. And when I'm doing my nighttime skin routine, I would look at it, and then every single night I would tell myself, nah, not tonight. I'll do that tomorrow. The only things that I truly use every single day is going to be a cleanser, a toner, a moisturizer, and an under eye balm. Like, these are my 4 go-to items. My husband uses this jojoba oil on his beard, and his comb, he agreed could probably just get put away because we have combs and brushes in our top drawers. Then he has his contact solution and his contacts, and that's kind of like a pain in the ass to get in and out every single day. So they fit on the tray. All of our things fit on the tray nice. But I got this new cup too. I had this other one that wasn't the correct color, like seafoam, and this one was part of the collection with the soap pumps, but I put the wrong color soap. I didn't think this Mrs. Meyer's apple cider soap had a color at all. It looked fairly clear. Mixed with the bluish glass, it kind of makes it look a little bit greenish. And then the next day it started to get cloudy. It was weird. So I'm kind of bummed. I think I'm just gonna dump that into the half bath downstairs because you can't see it. And it's the best scent ever. If you are looking for a fall scent, Mrs. Meyer's apple cider, oh my God, they have a multi-purpose spray, a dish soap, and a hand soap, and they are outrageous, but they're stupidly priced. They're $5 each. It's stupid because I could go through a bottle of each of those in a week because they smell so damn good. Weird thing they did. They commented on my Instagram post, and then I think they saw that on the Instagram post there was some cannabis, and then they deleted their comment. I have this face round that I use that's reusable. It's stained. I mean, I've been using it for 5 years, so it's kind of stained. I always hide it when people are over that might use this bathroom, so I decided to get these little stainless hooks. I think they look so dang cute, and then I attached it to the inside of my cabinet and hung it up. It's tucked away now, so it doesn't look gross, and it has a better purpose in the spot. So if you have far too many products and you need to have a lot of those products out, you might need to purge some of your products if you're being really, really honest with yourself. But if you don't want to, you might need to purge some of the stuff that you have in your, whatever your storage area is, because if these are all your primary, chances are you're not touching any of the stuff, and you could probably get rid of most of that stuff and move this stuff down there. But even still yet, if you still need an option, there are these tiered options. They come in a triangle shape, or you can get a Lazy Susan style where you can put all of your products up on this tier, and then it just wrangles them all together to one spot rather than having all of the bottles like pushed up against the back. And let's face it, if you have a whole lot of bottles on your counter, then the chances are you're not removing all of them to actually clean your counter space, and that can get really gross actually. Beard hairs or nail clippings, or like obviously stray hairs and product spills and just water from like splashing up onto the counter, it can get pretty gross. So if you have it in a tray or on a tier, then you can just easily remove that when you want to clean up the entire counter. The entire counter itself stays a lot cleaner, and it's a lot more efficient way of cleaning and organizing and staying clean and staying organized. Like, we're not trying to fight the system. We're trying to put together these little systems that help us to stay organized without very much thought, because I can't maintain a system. Like those TikToks and stuff that are super duper satisfying of the people who are like restocking all of the things. Who's a store like that? That's wild, but they're satisfying. But they're so unreasonable. All right, on to the third spot, which for me is the kitchen and the dining room. We cook a lot, so naturally we spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and when people are over, they tend to hang out in there with us as well. I find that I spend like 50% of a visit standing in the kitchen or being in the dining room. Food is almost always, nearly always involved. So it's important that it doesn't look like a cluttered mess. First thing you're gonna wanna tackle is the flat surfaces, because this is going to be where everybody's eyes are. You're looking at the tops of countertops, you're looking at the tops of the dining room table, you're looking at the tops of any other furniture type pieces you might have. So focus mostly on the flat surfaces, and this is a good rule of thumb for your entire house. So if you're doing a quick cleanup before someone comes over or as part of a nightly routine, you can pick up the flat surfaces and put away whatever you can. All of these candles, my kids, they recently discovered there's this store that lets you make your own candles. I'm not much of a candle person, and as awesome as they are everywhere in my house. And then of course I have a couple other things on my countertop, like this olive oil that I never ever use, and paperwork. Paperwork just makes its way to this space. Put away the paperwork where it's supposed to be, in the den. And you know, we usually leave this coffee out, but we always use this Nespresso, so we never use the ground up coffee beans. So I'm gonna stick this in a pantry as well. Another thing, appliances, they contribute to a ton of countertop clutter. Consider buying appliances that serve multiple purposes, like a toaster oven, a convection oven, a bake, no convection, and an air fryer in one. Like it is truly a magical machine, and it has a fairly small footprint. The pizza rolls, when you air fry them, I thought I loved pizza rolls before, but air fried, holy hell, for like 4 minutes, they're so good. Some people can get an appliance garage. Those things look badass. I love those. I would get one of those. It's just like a handy little door to hide your appliance. Yeah, or put the stuff away in the cabinet if you do have the space. Like just put it away. So the other big clutter issue in the kitchen is the fridge. I mean, I don't actually have any space to put anything directly on top of the fridge, but if you do, the different things that you have, that's essentially likely a pantry or something on top of your refrigerator. So if you stick it in bins, that's much more visually appealing, and it might actually be easier to grab stuff down if you want to check out like all of the cereal. But then the front of the fridge. The entire kitchen can be clean, but then if the fridge looks like this, where there is just a hodgepodge of magnets and calendars and art pieces and school paperwork and photos, and it's just a mess. This one's a super easy one to tackle. So first up, just rip everything off the fridge and clean it. I don't even actually know the last time that I used Steelmeister. I forgot that it had this like very oily feeling. I hated that. So I stick any photos that I can into these little fridge magnets. I don't even want to link these fridge magnets. They suck so bad. There are some more expensive ones on Amazon. They're like more of an acrylic case. I would suggest those. I've had the acrylic cases in the past. I was being super cheap with these magnets, and I thought that they would look nice because they were like fully magnet and more flush on the fridge, but nah. And then tackling the kids' artwork and schoolwork, I do want to show off all of my kids' art. I really do. But I also want to keep it safe and protected. And if it's just all over the fridge like this, it's getting knocked down, and if the water machine thing spills any water down on it, it's ruining the paper, and it's getting greasy fingerprints on it, and it's not being appreciated very well. So we have a rule that there's one piece of art per child. A new one replaces the old one, and then the old one gets stored in a bin that I have in the basement that is a ton of their art that they've done over the course of their lives. So there's kind of always new artwork, and it feels like more on display and more purposeful. So not only does it look better because it's not so cluttered, but also it feels more respectful to the actual art pieces. Also, anything that can go in your phone should go in your phone, and then you can get rid of the paper items. So wedding invitations, baby showers, wedding showers, graduation parties, birthday parties, to-do lists, grocery lists, the lunchroom calendar, literally anything that you can get and save it into your phone, do that, and then you can get rid of all of that paper right off the bat. And then the magnets, if you use all matching magnets, like these are all part of a series of these like neon colored ones that we wanted for the summer. So if they're all these matching magnets, then it looks very cohesive across the entire fridge. It looks a lot nicer. Now, I really like my Michigan magnets. I collect them, and I've gotten all of them from my viewers. So I like to have them on display on my fridge, and they bring me happiness. So I, by all means, do not encourage you to get rid of anything that makes you happy. On to the dining room, and actually you won't be seeing this table for very long. Daryl and I have been saving up and watching this Anthropologie table. It went on sale for Labor Day weekend for a few $100s off. So we finally snagged it. This table is like my dream table. Daryl found it. He's been really good at finding, like, this is also a walnut table with a gold frame, and that's what that table is gonna be. And since you can see the entire, like the kitchen, dining room, and living room is very open right here, it looks so good together. It's gonna look so good together. We don't have new chair money yet. Maybe next year. Honestly, the dining room is an easy one for us. We eat most of our meals at the dining room table. If you have the opportunity to do that, of course, I feel like you really should. Daryl and I had gotten away from that in a habit for a minute where we were eating in front of the TV. Nobody was talking. It was just kind of like a grunt here or there to each other. There was no real connection, conversation, and there was nothing obviously that was happening. It was all distractions. So we eat as many of our meals as possible at the kitchen table, or we have like a dining table out on our back patio. So this gets cleaned up pretty regularly, but it's also important to know how to prevent it from becoming a complete disaster in just a minute, because it does quickly become a dumping ground. Once we get it cleaned up, I put down this base. I did just buy this charger from Target to put underneath because I'd been meaning to grab one and just haven't, and I don't think I like how this turned out. I don't like the brown on brown on brown. I love this amber vase, also from Target. It looks so good, and it's like, I think it was $20 or $30 tops, and it's heavy and it's beautiful. We planted a flower garden this year, so my daughters and I just went out, we picked a bunch of flowers, we fill up the vase, and would you know it, but if you have a decor piece on your dining room table, people don't drop their stuff there. Or they do, but very lightly. Like, I catch the smaller things closer to the edge of the table, like we're trying to avoid the decor piece altogether. Like, it would be a disrespectful thing to just clutter up all the way around these flowers. If you don't want to do that, you could place a runner, you can put your place settings down, or place mats. I used to have this lantern in the middle, and then you could turn on like a flickering light. Yeah, you could put all sorts of different things on your table, but putting a decor piece on it, period, is what's gonna block clutter that happens. And then it's also a decor piece, so now your guests are seeing a decluttered home and also a decorated table. That's like good vibes, right? All right, so the very last room in the house, the fourth spot that we're stopping in, is the living room, obviously. And this is probably the spot where you guys are watching a show together, seshing together. So think about it. When you sit down in your living room, you are not gazing around the room because you live here. You know what the decor is like. You have no curiosities. You're not looking for anything in particular. But a guest is gonna sit down and be curious about your decor and be curious about the different things that you have in your room, and maybe seeing something would spark up the next line of conversation. Like, they're literally searching your room for conversation starters or signs that you're a murderer, something. Maybe a cat or a dog, but their eyesights are going to fall onto flat surfaces, floors, and their line of sight. So flat surfaces, again, just put away things. If you give everything an intentional place, then it has a place to go. If you don't give it that place, then it's just going to sit out and be cluttered. And then get rid of any excess decor that's making the space look cluttered. Like, again, I have a bajillion candles in here. So identifying that as the problem, creating the solution would be to just hold these things in a bin. I got this open basket. I actually don't love it. I don't love it for the decor that's in here. I think I'm going to end up using it in my mudroom as like my little catch-all as I'm coming in and out of the house basket. It'll do for right now, but I put like my remotes, my game console pieces, additional coasters that I bust out whenever I have guests here, the lighter, anything that is being left out that could get put away. We like to have a lot of pillows and we like to have a lot of blankets. So for the pillows, we just try to make sure that they're always looking neat. For the blankets, I got this little bin on the side. Literally, all you have to do is throw the blanket inside and it looks decorative for some reason. It looks fantastic. So I love this. You could also get something like this, but maybe something that's a little bit more tightly woven for dog toys or kid toys if you have any of those in your living room. In our last house, we didn't have a separate room like a den. We only had we had 3 bedrooms and a living room. So all of the baby and toddler toys were out all of the time. So we had a bin that was right behind our side table that we would just toss everything in at night. And then we did actually practice a lot of toy rotation, which I didn't realize is an actual practice. If you have a lot of stuff and they're not playing with most of it, try taking like 50% of it away and putting it in storage, letting them play with half, and then clean up all of that stuff, except for their favorites and stuff, of course, and then bring out the other first 50%, and they have like a newfound love of the amount of things, and you have half the stuff to clean up. So it does help. If you have carpeting or a rug that shows like track marks as you're walking around it, then a quick vacuum just kind of tidies it all the way up. So if you're expecting anybody, if you just quick vacuum, it looks like you cleaned your entire house. And then the last spot, for some reason, some of our guests choose to sit in this accent chair. Maybe they don't want to be super close to us on the sectional, but they sit in this accent chair, so I need to figure out what their line of sight is. And looking around the room, looking around the living room, I can see I do like how it looks, but once my line of sight kind of gazes over to the den space right there, I can see this ugly chair that my dog loves that I can't get rid of because he loves to sit in it, and some of these toys that are left out, and it just makes it feel cluttered all of a sudden. But I don't necessarily need to clean the entire den. There's no way I can put away all of the Barbie things that we have, all of the Legos that we have. I need a system in there. I have a dream, I have a vision, but it can't come to fruition right now. There are bigger things in the works first, and then I'll get there. But by cleaning up just the simple line of sight, it looks a whole lot better. And now I'm not worried really about what my guest thinks about the den, because outside of that, they're not gonna see it. All right, so those are the 4 spaces that the guests are taking notice are a cluttered mess in your house. And we fixed them, and it's cheap to fix them. Like a simple little bin here, or a little tray there, or just a little declutter technique, putting things away. It's super duper helpful, and it maintains itself. Okay, I hope that inspired you to feel a little bit more organized in your house, and see, it wasn't that bad. I will put the product links for everything that I talked about. I think everything was from Target, will be down below for you. And if I think there's a couple things from, I don't know, Amazon, Target, I'll put it all down below. And if you're into this type of video, please consider hitting subscribe before you leave. I truly do appreciate it. Thank you for being here. A huge shout out to all my patrons for making videos like this possible, and I'll see you all later. Love ya. Bye.